Hey guys, today and in this video I'm going to show you how to call a SOAP API endpoint from C#. I use this SOAP endpoint from W3 School for this demo. It's a public API and you can have a play with that as well for free if you want to. Okay, let's get started. This endpoint is a temperature conversion service, and I'm using Fahrenheit to Celsius method here. So I've got that set up in Postman, and I'm going to use the payload from here and the other setup from the Postman setup. I've got another short video for setting up Postman to call a SOAP API, and I use the same service for demo. Feel free to have a look at that if you want more context about setting that up in Postman. But in this video, we focus on calling that from C#. I create a new console application, choose .NET 8, and click Create. Once the project is created, I just add the program class and main method to that. I define 3 variables here. The first one is the soapEndpoint. The second one is temperature in Fahrenheit that we want to just convert it to Celsius. And the third one is the payload body that we want to use and pass to the service. If we look at the Postman, this payload is coming from here. And we just use string interpolation to replace the value of this variable here in this one. And I call that soapEnvelope. Next, I add a try catch block here to make sure that if anything goes wrong, we get an error message back. Then in the try block, I add a piece of code to call the SOAP endpoint. So I just go through that quickly. So I've got a variable here, which is a string variable for the API response. And here we are using HttpClient. It's a built-in .NET class for calling the HTTP methods. Here we are creating the request message, and it needs to be a post, again, according to the Postman setup. And we are passing the um, body of the message that we set up here as a SOAP envelope. And the media type needs to be text/XML based on the Postman setup. Again, if we look at the header is text/XML. Then we send this request to the service and we check that the response is successful or not. If not, we just print out the error message. But if it is successful, we read the content of the response as a string and we just store it in the SOAP API response. Okay, what we've done so far in our application, we just sent a request to the service and we stored the response, which is a string like this, in a variable. Next step is deserializing this XML output. Then we can just access the Fahrenheit to Celsius result and we can just grab this number. To do that, we need to just add a model folder here. And I create a class here, call it envelope. Based on the response XML schema, we need 3 different classes here. So I just copy and paste them here and then just quickly go through them. So if we look at the response schema here, we've got an envelope at the very top level. And this is why we need an envelope class. And then that envelope includes a body. Then we've got a body method here from type of body, and body is a class itself. And then inside the body, we've got a Fahrenheit to Celsius response. And we've got the same class here. Just bear in mind that for a successful deserialization, you need to make sure that the namespaces that you are using here is matching up with what you have in your output. Otherwise, you're going to get an error. Okay, so we've got that bit done. We go back to our main code. We add the deserialization step here. So what it does is basically creating a serializer from XML serializer, and then we are passing the API response that we uh, stored from the service here in that variable. And we say that serialize it using the envelope class. And we cast it to envelope, and envelope is the class that we created here. And the last line, it's just using the result, which is in this variable, and it goes to body, to Fahrenheit to Celsius response, and this is the value that we are after. It's basically this number here. Let's run the app to see what is the output. As you can see, this is printed out on the screen. 87 Fahrenheit is 30.5 Celsius. So the program worked as expected. I try to put this piece of code in the video description if there is no length limit from YouTube side. But thanks for watching this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you liked it. Um, Thank you again.